Stacey Abrams was just a young black girl living in small town Mississippi with big dreams and a tiny voice. How could she ever inspire anyone to vote? Chapter 1: Voting Booth Battles, Part 1. Voting was a big deal to Stacey's family. Her parents didn't just wait for the presidential race every 4 years. They also voted for their governors, mayors, judges, and other local officials. If there was an election, the Abrams family showed up to be counted. It was important to Carolyn and Robert Abrams that their children saw every aspect of the voting process. Stacey's family could not participate in local elections until the late 1960s. Stacey and her siblings were the first generation of Southern black people, all born with the right to just walk into a school gym, cast a vote, and walk back out unharmed. But why? In 1865, immediately after the end of the Civil War, the United States entered a brief era called Reconstruction. It was supposed to unite the country. The federal government passed laws to protect formerly enslaved black people and even sent troops to enforce those laws. Black men gained the right to vote, run for public office, own property, and more. They set up communities with flourishing businesses. Some 2,000 African Americans held office as elected officials, including 16 members of the U.S. Congress. However, many white Southerners despised these changes. After a controversial presidential election in 1876, some Southern lawmakers met with the new president's representatives to strike a deal. In the Compromise of 1877, Southern states agreed to accept the election results if the federal government agreed to stop protecting black people in their states. This was the end of Reconstruction and the beginning of the Jim Crow era. In the 1870s in Mississippi, where Stacey Abrams' ancestors lived, the Jim Crow era led to new local laws created to erase the legal, economic, and social gains that black people had made during Reconstruction. If folks in their neighborhoods even talked about voting, they could be attacked by police dogs, arrested, or killed by angry white mobs. Without black voters' input, politicians continued to pass laws that kept the black people of the South poor and oppressed for nearly 100 years. Both of Stacey Abrams' parents protested and marched for their rights in the 1960s. As a young teen, Robert Abrams was thrown in jail for trying to register black voters. It took the combined effort, hard work, and sacrifice of many people, including civil rights leaders like future Congressman John Lewis, Dr. Martin Luther King, and even President Lyndon Johnson, to convince the white people of the United States that black citizens deserve the right to vote. The Voting Rights Act of 1965 meant that the states could not stop black voters with literacy tests, poll taxes, the threat of arrest, or any other forms of voter suppression. But even after that law passed, not everyone trusted those newfound rights. Who had the right to vote? When the Constitution was written in 1776, only certain people could vote. Today, most citizens of the United States over the age of 18 can vote, no matter their gender, race, ethnicity, creed, religion, income level, disability, or primary language. So who could vote, and when? 1776. Generally, the only people allowed to vote are white men aged 21 and over who own property. Some states have religious requirements. 1848. After the Mexican-American War, Mexicans living in new U.S. territories are technically allowed to vote, but most